Hello.
Yeah, so I think the focus should be what was it? Humanity creates ships, the first ships. I want to explore the seas, right?
Hmm. I like.
So
Yeah, we
let's
did kind of
go
leave that a bit blank,
Oh.
didn't we?
gonna go
Relatively
into
speaking.
game data focused ships. Or seafaring, that's gonna be the focus.
Hmm.
And in this session, babies are turned into ships.
See if we could find a boat.
So for my first event, I'm gonna go to the end of the Great Lizard War.
Ew.
The lizards surrender. The lizard folk are forced to admit that their god is not real, as they are the losers of the Great Lizard War. I'm add a scene after.
Oh my.
I made two of them, so let me delete that. And it's gonna be, what is it called? Assimilation, technological assimilation.
Mhm.
And it's going to be described as post-war. Humanity learns, or humanity absorbs the lizard kind's technology for their own, basically. We're trying to
Hmm.
milk them for all they're worth.
Oh, implying that like maybe they're the guys who had the boats. Hmm. Interesting. Or maybe the lizards had already gotten to bronze, and the humans were just dumb boys.
And I'm going to end with that for my turn, so I'm just going to finish editing.
Cool. Which puts it on Effie. Boop.
Wait, it's my turn?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
Once
Wow,
he
that was
finishes
fast.
editing. He just has to finish editing. Let me actually, use the correct screen as well. That would help.
Wait, what technology is the lizard folk assimilating?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
It
considering
is
we
curious.
haven't
It does.
really.
Yeah, what kind of, is there anything in particular that they were, good with?
Yeah, mostly seafaring.
Like sea stuff? Oops, I clicked add. Sorry. Delete that. So mostly, that's kind of where they got the sea stuff from, and that's how. Well, but humans create the first ships.
Where does it say that?
It's the second period.
Oh, and they stole their buoyancy research and agriculture.
Cool. So they got the ideas from something that the lizard folk were doing. They saw the lizard men swimming. They were like, "Hey, they've developed this technology where they move their tails and their legs and then wave their arms at the same time." It works. It works. I imagine it does make sense that the lizard folk were kind of more advanced. Hmm.
Because you created them.
Yeah. Basically.
Just a doting father.
Exactly. It's like I made it, so now I'm gonna make it great.
Effie?
Fucking
Oh,
bitch.
I'm looking around.
It's seafaring based. Oh my god. Wait, well, seafaring. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so I can't figure out where I want to put it. I know what I'm gonna do. I can't figure out where it would go.
Ooh. Is it a specific kind of thing?
Okay, I think it would fit under I think it would fit under the Great War because, humans split into different tribes, are at war over trade and religion. So I am going to create an event that marks a pirate.
Ooh. I like it.
So it'll be after... it'll be after the Withering, I believe. Pirates will emerge as humans split into tribes, but it's not just humans that are pirates. There are lizard pirates as well. And I'm going to create the reign of the lizard pirate king,
Oh my god, yes.
Grabath.
I love it. It's both a pirate king and a lizard.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Now it just needs babies. For gold. Although that's a long ways off. Some long-term investment in babies. Oh. Shit, now I have to think of what the fuck I want to do. Oh no.
She got bored.
The gifs in chat though. Oh my god. Let me just so that people can see. I'll just move it in a tab over there so they can see the glory of that bearded dragon. For fuck's sake. Oh man. I like how every time I tab back to the queue, it's like 90% shorter, but it's actually lying to me. So. How's that going?
Sorry, still typing.
It's okay. It's alright. Lizard pirates. I need to find a gif of that. That must be a thing, right? Oh my god. There's so many. Oh my god. Why are lizard pirates so popular?
All right.
Holy shit. This is like genuinely like a cool lizard pirate. Saving that for character art, man.
I have created the reign of the lizard folk pirate king, Grabath.
Ooh. I like it. Alrighty, that makes it my turn. There's now a lizard pirate king. I feel like somehow this must be expanded upon. Alright. comes back to the lizards, doesn't it?
Yeah, have you done something that wasn't lizard related?
Yeah,
Oh wait, the babies.
I did the withering. I did. I mean, it's kind of either lizard related or suffering related,
Yeah,
or suffering because of lizards, like the massacre
true.
of whatever it was before, and a bunch of other things. So let's expand upon that a bit. And let's see. Let me type. I'm sorry, I'm still typing.
I feel
So
you.
many
That was me
things.
earlier.
I'm like, man, this will be really quick. And I was like, oh shit, I've got like another paragraph to go. Hmm. I, if it's a Pangea, there can be small islands, right? As long as they're not like continent sized, right?
My guess is they'd be really close by.
Yeah, exactly.
Like still part, but just like off a mile.
Yeah. There we go. I think that's... Yeah. So the Vintathsha clan dominate the seas. Already influential in trade, the Vintathsha clan utilize their funds to build a massive navy and settle countless small islands along the coast. Their powerful navy ensure that few can tamper with them, and they begin to construct small fortified barge docks in the ocean. With few to oppose them, they hire the Pirate King as a privateer to ensure that they are able to live peacefully in their ocean strongholds.
Hmm.
Bum, bum, bum.
Where is this located?
Just after the reign of the Pirate King.
Oh, okay, okay.
Alright, now Sims go.
All right. So the ships is their focus. So what good is pirates and stuff if there was no naval combat to give everybody experience?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put this before the Great War. I mean the reign of the lizard folk. I guess it could be after the Wither. And I'm gonna throw in that the tribes have formed alliances with different lizard folk. No, I don't think we established that before.
Yeah, I suppose. Hmm. I wonder if... Well, I assume that cannons must be post-Bronze era.
Yeah, I would assume so as well.
Yeah, because I know there were bronze cannons, but they didn't really become a thing because they were absurdly expensive. So they had the ability with bronze to make cannons, but it was just not worth it. And also, you would have to like kind of go past that to iron and all that kind of stuff to be able to smelt properly, to build things capable of like preparing that, I suppose, like the gunpowder and the cannonballs and all that. Although theoretically, I guess you could do it all with bronze, but again, it'd just be a complete pain in the ass.
Okay.
Nice. Oh man, side note, that DC on WoW, it was apparently server wide, so people are pissed. Oh man. I gotta think of what my next focus is gonna be too. 'Cause I don't know.
Man,
Hmm?
it's just I feel like my settings are off. Y'all are quieter than usual.
Oh yeah. I think my stuff seems like it's alright. I mean, actually though, you were like quieter on my end when we first started, so I bumped you up a little bit, but
Okay.
don't know.
Alright, the first sea battles that they're fighting is numerous land battles. The tribes take the fighting to the different tribes combined with their lizard allies utilize new ships outfitted for warfare. Ships outfitted with heavy bows and devices that fire heavy spears, bringing new chaos to the world.
Nice.
Very good. I like it. Sea battles, pirate kings, fucking like navy clans. It's good stuff. That brings it back to Demi.
Yay.
What you gonna do?
First battles, pirate king and sea dominate the seas, and we're gonna have an era of triangle trade. Freedom of the seas has been restored.
I like it.
The pirates long dealt with, trade blossoms between settlements. An age of economic prosperity.
It is interesting. I imagine they must have like huge river trade routes and shit.
Hold on, real quick.
I like how all this is in the Great War.
Yeah, you guys have been adding it to this. Before we invented ships, we got pirates.
Oh well, no, you
No,
got
ships were invented previous era.
yeah, a ways back actually.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 eras back. Because
The
there was
Great
humanity
Lizard
creating
War,
the
and
first
then humanity
ships.
creates the first ships.
Yeah, and then the gods present themselves, and like stuff happens, and
Oh,
there's
the Great
magic.
War. I'm reading the Great Lizard War, you know? Huh?
Oh,
That's where you added yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before the first ships.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we didn't have ships yet. We just stole their research. My bad. I was looking at the wrong thing. It's like, we have 2 Great Wars. I forgot about that.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? Economic prosperity, all that jazz.
Indeed. Like everything is like good. I imagine that's kind of like the capstone of the Great War, right? Is like, and then they went to the ocean and they were like, "Yeah, this is ours now." And then everyone was like, "All right, we're sorry. Please bring us all of your, ocean stuff, like sushi."
Like sushi.
I like how that's the first thing that came to mind. I mean, it's rightfully so the first thing that came to my mind. It does
Bam.
sound
Freedom
good.
of the Seas.
Oh shit! It still didn't show my name because I just realized I did it in the recording one, but not the one I like actually use.
Oh.
You'll
I
get the
still
hang of it
fucked
before
it
the
up.
end.
Oof.
I promise you'll get the hang of it before the end.
For my legacy, I want to focus on the Pirate King.
Nice. I like that too because we never specified lifespan for lizard folk. Oh my god, I have such an idea.
I'm done.
You done?
Yeah.
Ooh. That means it's Effie's go.
Dun dun dun.
Jun, 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 jun.
Man, how many sessions have we done? And I'm not entirely sure. Like, we're still doing Seafair.
So, yeah, it's the, where'd my book go?
How long do we stay on this focus?
That's it. You get to pick
Well,
a new
you're
focus.
picking the new focus.
Oh, I'm picking the new focus.
Yes, yes. And then you get to, like, do a thing and nest a thing in it if you want. You only have to do one thing, but if you want, you can nest another thing within. And then it goes to the next person and so on. And then you get to do it all over, and then you choose the legacy.
Give me a second.
I mean, did you set the legacy, or
Okay.
Sorry?
did you set the legacy? It's not showing up on mine.
No, I don't pick the legacy, right?
That'd be the person behind you.
Oh, that's Sim.
Oh, it is me. Dun dun dun.
All right, I want to do a focus on. Oh wait, let me make sure. Let me look at the palette.
Always gotta check that palette. Yeah, it sneaks up on you.
Oh geez, we have a low birth rate, and we were making.
Yeah, I know.
We were making
That's
gold
why
out
it
of
was
ba-
so serious. That's why the Goblin Queen tried to save them
Oh
by
god!
turning them into goblins.
All right, I want to do a focus on the concept of anomalies.
Ooh, like what kind of anomalies?
That's up for you to decide. Just anomalies. I know it's broad, but at the same time, I
I
think,
feel like I can work with
you know,
that.
yeah, like we have a lot of things where it's like, this is a solid thing, but like, what about like anomalous things that happen throughout
Like,
this
just weird
entire
shit.
time? Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
You know, hobgoblins and golden babies.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we
Yeah,
hit
like
the weird
that.
tree the other time. We not only hit the weird tree, but we kind of shook it to the ground.
Well, it's sprouted up a new tree already. Here it comes. Effie, lead the way.
All right, so. Wait, let me just check and make sure that this is a good spot. Yeah, okay, so that's actually a perfect spot for it. Between the Great War and the Age of Enlightenment, I am going to create an era or a period called the Null. In this period, humanity loses all their magic for 50 years, and they don't know why.
Ooh. So it's just after the Great War, and then just before the Age of Enlightenment. Interesting.
Yeah, like the first event in the Age of Enlightenment talks about how the gods see that or humanity's kind of weakened after the Great War. So I figured this would be a good spot for the Null.
Oh.
Probably because somebody foresaw us making baby gold.
And I suppose I'll put an event in there where, at the start of it, there's a lot of disarray as a lot of the people in power who did have magic are suddenly powerless. They're on the same par as everybody else because they don't have that volatile magic. So there's going to be that initial period of and order, and there's going to be a lot of usurping and probably going to be a lot of people trying to gain order once again.
Yeah. You know what? There's probably a population boom as well.
Oh gosh.
Because less baby sacrifices.
Oh gosh.
It's like, how do we deal with all these people?
A great population
These
boom.
babies are growing up. Oh. I like it. Oh shit, I keep clicking backspace and clips instead of going back to overview. And that removes my name from the thing. Again. So, still learning, guys. Still learning. Let me see.
All right. I am done.
Oh, that makes it my turn. Oh shit. I was thinking about it, but I was like, I'm double checking things, right? Because I like it. I like it. It works.
What?
I've got an idea. Ooh. I'm gonna make it interesting. You know, at the same time, I now have to argue with myself because it always does come back to lizards. I don't know why.
It's alright, we won't kink shame you.
I'm like, do I want to do this anymore? I don't need to make something about lizards. But then I had a cool idea. And I was like, what if something happened with lizards? And I'm like, do I have a problem? I'm not sure. But it's too late now. We're going to continue treading this path. Alright. Give me a second to type.
There's gonna be a lot of dead air in this one.
Yeah, there is. Unless you want to listen to me type. I mean,
They're gonna have to edit it. Someone's gonna have to edit it. Demi's gonna need to edit it. The official role of the GM of a GM-less game. I'll be listening to Aki type about his
Oh yeah, I left
lizard man fetish.
Shit.
All the lizard is.
Wait, is the null? It's after the Great War, yeah, or before it?
After the Great War.
Perfect.
So, hello?
Yep.
Who's going?
Aki's typing about his lizards.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's so much to type. There. I think that'll work too. Super Dark Age.
The Dark Noir Age.
I just realized I had to add more. I'm sorry.
3 pages later. That's it. I'm killing off the lizards.
There. The lizard god rises.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was like, what could possibly cause 50 years of no magic? A deity that hates magic. Yeah.
So their god is real.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, to the surprise of the world, soon after the null begins, the lizard god Karok is witnessed for the first time in hundreds of years. In a fit of rage, the deity destroys much of the Vintathsha clan as it sunders all in its path from the great ocean to the scaled desert at the center of the continent. After reaching the desert, Karok declares that magic is for the weak, and that until his reign is ended, all must vie for power as nature demands. Chaos ensues as many lizard folk rebel and take up newfound freedoms, resurrecting the brutal ways of their old god.
Wow.
Dun, 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 dun. It's a big one. Now it's your turn to say.
You and lizards, man.
Oh, no.
You like that cold blood.
I need an anomaly that eliminates the lizard folk.
I mean, it works. Although the problem is now it would have to be like very late to fully eliminate them.
Oh, man.
The Great Lizard Plague.
Alright, I got something. It's gonna go null.
Nice.
Ooh, wait a minute, I'm putting in the wrong spot.
You should be able to move it afterwards if you need to.
Oh, it's already moved.
Oh. Man, that was kind of fucked up, but like all the lizard talk does make me actually want like fried crocodile tail.
Oh, God.
It's so good. Have you ever had it? It's a fucking amazing. You make it into fritters. Oh man, it's delicious. I think the lizard folk would approve. They're like mostly cannibals and stuff. Well, they used to be. And for a while, they're gonna be again now. Now that their god is back to be like, hey, nature doesn't give a fuck.
A fourth moon appears. The world is stunned as an orange-colored fourth moon rises. Some believe it's a bad omen. Seas become unwieldy, almost as if the water is trying to leap towards the new moon.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, I like it.
Nominally.
That is very anomalous.
A moon pops up, magic suddenly disappears, and then the lizard god comes back.
God.
I like it. The null is now my
Nightmare Fuel?
favorite. It's just the darkest age. Well, then again, we did turn babies into gold. So
Later.
that is later. It's the darkest period so far. That means it's Demi's turn.
Gods aid magic. The god sees humanity discovered magic. You know what? Can I just make a scene?
I mean, there's
Yeah.
how the game works.
I'm gonna make a scene for the god aid magic. The gods aid magic. The gods see humanity has discovered magic and decide to aid them in understanding what they now possess.
Ooh.
That is found in the gods present themselves. It's first saying that theme.
The gods. Okay.
We all following?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so in this scene, I will have someone play a god, someone play the smartest of humanity, you know? Like their selected scholar. And I will have someone play a test subject.
Dibs.
And a book says this is possible, and we haven't done it, so I shall be playing time.
Time? How does that work?
I can slow things down and rewrite maybe something you say, or I can speed things up. I don't know. It just says you can play time, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
I've seen enough Whose Line Is It Anyway to know where that's going.
So God, scholar, test subject. The question is, how, what's that? You know when you pick up on something quickly, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not susceptible, but, I'm looking for a word.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Like when someone's a sponge and they just pick things up, you know?
Well, I mean, there's like a few things that could be used
Absorbent.
for that. A what?
You said absorbent.
Oh, it's also a prodigy. You mean like something like that, or like an adept?
And how prodigal humanity was.
The prodigal.
The prodigal lizard. At this point, I feel like I've committed, right? And now it has to be about lizards.
That has to be about lizards.
The only
That's a
choice I
test
have.
subject.
So the lizard that was like, hey, magic will make me stronger? Sure.
So there you go. How smoothly did the first human magic go? Someone, you can choose who you want to play. God, scholar, and test subject.
I guess I'll be the test subject.
Then, alright, what do I want to be then? I don't think I want to be I'll be the god. Because I was the scholar in like a couple of the other things, so I'll be the god this time.
Sounds good. I guess that leaves me the smartest human.
Guess you gotta be the scholar.
The smart human.
I got my education.
Mm-hmm. The question is, what kind of god is it? Or is that
Well, I guess you're about to show
to
us.
be determined? Okay. Is anybody typing?
It says the gods see humanity has discovered magic. It doesn't say anything else.
And they're like, hey, let us, before you just, start being like, zap and shit, and start sacrificing babies willy-nilly without knowing what you're actually doing, let's show you how to do that, So when you sacrifice a baby, you always start from the face. God,
Wait a minute.
That's fucking dark.
Yeah.
So fucked. Oh my god. That was bad. Is anybody typing?
Nope.
All right.
No.
What's a good name for a deity?
Jesus?
Technically? Question mark? uh,
The flying spaghetti monster.
Flying spaghetti. There you go.
I'm trying to think of a good one that's not ridiculous. What is it a god of, though? That's the question. Perfect. Wait a minute. What period is the Withering in? It's in the Great War, right? Or is it? Yeah. Yeah, it's in the Great War. How much further on is the Great War after this? Of God.
Did we actually define it?
No, it's okay. Perfect. Arntholus, god of experimentation and curiosity, wishes to instill the curiosity that is his namesake upon humans and show them the variability and chaos inherent in magic.
Sim, you want to go ahead and write your stuff, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Did we ever determine what the deities look like, or do they look like humanoid, or are like some of them weird?
I don't think we determined what all of them looked like.
I guess you're right.
We know there is some humanoid, and we know there's a lizard one.
Yeah, just the one lizard one, though. Well, presumably. I feel like if there was another lizard one, there would be a lot of arguments. Like, theocratically. Is that the right word for that? I think it is. Oh. If fucking Arntholus was just like a Buddha style golden baby, just floating in the air. Oh man.
I'm the test subject, Jan. Her parents wanted her to do something with her life. Instead of running off with her lover John, she was pushed into being a test subject. But it wasn't easy. She was chosen among other volunteers, performing a set of challenges, both physical and mental. She's gone from little interest to mild curiosity and a bit of fear, but mostly she just wants to go back.
Oh my.
Maybe.
It's great. Now it's time for the scholar. Oh, I'm up to 4,970 in the queue. Fucking hell. Oh, it just went back up. That's bullshit. Come on. Oh, so cool. Oh, man. I've got to think of, like, what in particular this crazy fucking deity is going to try and teach these people.
Drex. After strange things started happening, Drex was planning to study what exactly was going on and determine to what extent it could be used.
Perfect.
We'll set the scene. It's going to be some sort of holy ground. The humans have spent a lot of time preparing this area, make it nice and pretty for their god. Lots of tools and maybe like collections of herbs and other things. They don't really know what to expect, so they rely on their, vague knowledge of mysticism, And we'll set the scene with the humans waiting eagerly for their god to arrive. They're due to be here within, I don't know, an hour or so.
Jan is kind of twiddling her thumbs. She occasionally looks over at Drex, but is mostly just waiting. And she's not really all that talkative, mostly because she's intimidated by Drex.
Drex is staring down at a scroll of his that he has been formulating with, and would look up at Jan. So you're the chosen one.
I tried my best, but I'm not really entirely sure why me and not someone like you.
That's easy. It's a great honor to be the test subject here. However, it could be quite dangerous and it needs to be studied. I assure you, from what I've seen and gathered, if something does go wrong, it probably will hurt us both. However, if it goes right, it'll be the greatest thing you'd ever see.
Well, I suppose you would know better than I do. When is our guest supposed to gate?
And to answer your first question, yes, I would know it better than you would. And second, I don't know. He was supposed to be here already, I thought, but he might be running late. I don't know.
I guess you can't really put a schedule on a god.
Yes. Well, he is time in its essence, I'm sure.
Hey, do you think that if I shook the god's hand, it would hurt?
Well, that would depend. I imagine if they're like us, and he's like us, then no, but I wouldn't want to be the one to find out right away.
They're gods. I don't think they're like us, right? Otherwise, I'd be a god too.
Yes, well, as funny as that is, yeah, I imagine maybe they can control the power when they want to, but I don't think we would ever be gods, and he'd kind of give her a little bit of a look.
She kind of grimaces a little and shrugs off
Yeah,
the look that she was.
I was gonna say, as she kind of shrugs and kind of looks away a bit, the place that they've kind of set up, right, is like mostly open air, but it's kind of like out the back of the largest facility they could manage with what technology they have. The building has been being used, pretty heavily reinforced with, again, Bronze Age technology, for testing various magics, and this kind of open air outer section is got a slight overhang over the half of it or so, and the rest of it hangs off kind of over a cliff almost, dropping off not far from where the balcony ends. Of course, like presuming deities to be like somewhat angelic to some degree, or perhaps to have come from the sky or the stars. That was thus the plan, the expected way that they would enter. But as she kind of shrugs and looks off a bit, in the kind of pale evening light, she notices what looks rather strange, kind of up around the cliff, right? Just sticking over the edge. It looks like a single hand sticking up, but in each of the fingertips, instead of nails, looking towards her, are eyes.
uh, Jan kind of takes a step back, completely amazed by the presence. She clearly can tell this is a god, and she's in the presence of some higher being. And then she sticks out her hand. Hi, I'm Jan.
Yeah, from kind of the cliff way. Again, it's like a good 5 or 6 feet off of the balcony. Um, this long hand kind of reaches up and forward, and at first it looks like it's reaching for her hand, but then grasps the balcony, and the entire thing begins to pull itself up from using that arm. And as it does, she and Drex and whatever assistance would be there can see the form of this deity in its whole now as it rises up over the cliff's edge. This arm coming off of the back of its head, which pulls it up. Its head and face looking mostly human, although entirely bare of any hair. The form is relatively humanoid, masculine, but each side has 6 arms, alongside the one that sits atop its head with extra eyes on each fingertip. As it kind of comes up over the edge, 2 long, slightly lanky legs, more so even than the arms above and the one off its head, squat down. It's easily like 5 or 6 meters tall. Colossal, really, compared to any human. You greet me, mortal?
Eyes completely wide. Her hand is still outstretched, even though this being is, entirely otherworldly. And part of her brain is like, no, 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 retract your hand. But she still has it out there. She kind of nods and it's like, it is customary.
It tilts its head, and thus its arm kind of, you would think, would bend, but instead the arm actually stays in its upright position. Right, the head tilts to the left, but the arm kind of stays perfectly above the neck, right? so it kind of shifts like as if the head slides underneath it, right? As it slides along the surface, kind of to be on the side of the head almost. Always perfectly upright. As it then tilts its head back to normal, and the arm does so again, always staying in that kind of relative position. Yes, custom. Mortal, custom. As it reaches one of its 3 hands from its right side in towards hers. The hand is huge compared to hers, like easily 3 or 4 times its size. As he wraps his entire hand around hers and then kind of bodily just picks her up by it, seemingly observing.
And we'll pause right here and we'll take a quick rewind to the first time you ever interacted with a human. And maybe this thought occurs to you, this is going a lot better. Because the first time you showed yourself to humanity, that person just could not comprehend you. It was beyond them, and you left them in a catatonic state. So all things considered, it's pretty good.
Nice.
And we'll unpause.
Aww.
Yeah, and Tholis kind of looks her over, kind of turning her around a bit. Mortal is intact, mentally and physically. Yes, good. He then kind of, after kind of twisting her around with that, that arm, and sets her down finally again. He kind of then looks off to Drex and the couple of assistants off to the side. And then back to Jan. You are to learn magic. Yes? Yes? Mortal? Yes?
Drax, seeing this, is going to speak up. Yes, we are here to learn magic. She is here to sort of gauge the effect. I assume you have come to enlighten us of what we are working with here.
Yeah, as Drex kind of speaks, that arm up top, all of the eyes with it kind of aligned with the eyes on its head were on Jan. But now the head and the eyes and the head stay aligned as it looks at Jan, but the arm and all the eyes on it turn and adjust and reach out to look over Drex, kind of stretching out almost to get within a few feet of him and look him over. And then a mouth opens in the palm of the hand. Yes. You wish to learn magic, yes?
Well, it does seem that learning it is not a thing anymore. It seems it's presented itself. Learning to control it would be the most beneficial thing.
There's a small giggle from the head that's looking at Jan. You wish to learn magic too, yes? Magic too. The eyes almost seem to bulge a bit as it looks very close into hers, leaning a bit more forward. You wish to leave. Magic to leave. Yes, magic to leave. And as it's saying that, the mouth on the hand speaks again to Drex. You presume you know magic. You know nothing. You will learn.
Well, I guess, and Jan is more nervous now than she was before, and she's looking over, or between Drex and Arntholus, in regards to the whole situation. There's a lot of fight or flight happening in her brain, and she just kind of nervously waits and wonders what she got herself into.
Yeah, the arm kind of looks Drex over again. You shall learn. As it kind of retreats back over the head, kind of watching. Again, in that position to where it's bent down, right? So all the fingers are kind of over the head, just like by like several inches. All bent taut. As he then kind of stands upright again and looks over the both of you, kind of keeping the head and the hand all together in one swift motion, right? Many things to learn. First, you must learn the cost. Great, great cost. You know this already, but not truly. You must pay. Sometimes, he looks to Jan, yourself. Other times, the hand looks to Drex and then speaks. Other times, others. Both of them kind of pair up again, and his normal mouth speaks again. You wish to leave. Yes, yes. To John. Yes. I will teach you. Magic is never what you expect. Sometimes to leave, yes. One must bring and then go. Yes? Understand, mortal, yes?
I don't know that I understand. She's leaning towards Drex.
The,
Jan is... This is a subject matter to which, as much as she was able to achieve the challenges of mind and body, she's not as intelligent as Drex the Scholar. So, there's like... we have to give up things?
yes, yes, many things. Many, 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 many things. Precious things. The more precious, the more power. More magic. Yes, very, very precious things. You must give. But not always your precious. Yes?
So if I give you a gold piece and she holds out a coin from her coin purse, like holding it out towards the god as an example. So if I give you this piece, is that does that work for the exchange?
Not precious enough. What is most precious?
It almost seems like Jan is too scared to answer. And so she's a little hesitant. Her mouth is open slightly as she has an answer on the tip of her tongue.
Yeah.
But it takes her a moment to actually say it. Life is pretty precious.
Yes, understand. Good, good, good. Understand. And then he looks again using the hand. The hand moves over towards Drex. And your most precious thing. Sam?
No, what was that? Sorry, no, my mic, my fucking
No problem.
headset's
Yeah, so the hand kind of then reaches over back towards Drex again and asks, and your most precious thing?
Yeah, we all have a precious thing in our life, but he looks down at the scroll. From my understanding, it's not always the life that is needed. So the next precious thing to any and all of us humans would be our life force, which flows through our veins here.
Perhaps. Or perhaps you cannot comprehend that which you would seek to lose least.
Well, perhaps I only got what we have seen so far.
Then the arm pulls back over his head again. He looks to Jan and Drex. First, think what you want. Yes, to go. Instead of you go there, it comes to you, and then you go to it. Yes? Yes?
I go to what?
It leans in close. Very, very close. Its head, of course, much, much larger than hers, and whispers quietly, to John. Away from here, where he is.
I
Think where he is. Bring there, here. Then go there. Then put it back.
am I okay? And he is with his parents. She doesn't quite understand what he's wanting or what the god is wanting her to do. So she's describing like where he is, and she's got her eyes closed as if like, oh, maybe that's something I have to do. He's probably um he's probably helping with some of the chores around the house. I'm not entirely sure, but that's probably what he's doing. And
Good, more. Think if not this cliff, you there. If it was just a step away.
as if I was right there with him.
Yes, as if he were here with you.
Jen looks from the god to Drex. She's hoping that maybe Drex is following along a little bit better than her, but she eventually just assumes what he means, and she thinks about being with John, and then suddenly John is there.
Drex, as you kind of watch on with her eyes closed as she thinks of this, you notice that the hand with all the eyes sits above Jan's head, and a strange, almost foul green and purple light seems to almost drip down against her head from the fingertips. As it does, she concentrates and thinks, and you see the area just off of the cliff begin to shimmer like a heat mirage. As slowly you see what looks like, bizarrely enough, a house, right? With no front wall, just open interior. A man there, and presumably a couple of parents. It is as if the air just gives way, like through a broken wall. And a young man stands there, confused, kind of looking between all of you. Good. Now, go to him. Go to him. And when Jan opens her eyes, she can see all of this there before her now.
She's completely baffled and walks over to John and kind of pokes him. And once she realizes that he's actually real, she hugs him. Oh, John, I just did magic!
Drex looking on is going to look at the god. And what is the cost of this?
the hand kind of sits upright above the head, and you see the mouth on it grin as Arntholis kind of takes a step over and leans in close to Jan. "No. Pay the cost."
What is the cost? That didn't take
She
anything.
feels then one of the hands from the large deity gripping her own. And without there having been anything there, she can feel the grip of a knife in her hand. It is sharp, and it looks to be made of almost crystalline obsidian. Black as night. "You must pay the cost. Great magic. Great cost. Such cost."
Her her brows furrow as she looks between John, who's looking at her very confused, still amazed that he's, all of a sudden in the presence of his girlfriend. And she's once again looking between the god and Drex, hoping for a little guidance from the scholar. What does he mean?
She can feel then the hand around her own kind of grip. Again, like well oversized. As she turns to you, Drex.
My dear, what is most precious to everybody? What is more precious to you right now?
Her head starts shaking. No, I don't want to do this anymore.
It's too late. It's here.
Yes. Cost paid. Before or after. No avoiding. If you do not, the magic will. As she then sees that John before her stands stock still, his eyes bulging a bit in his head, panic on his face, but unable to move, as small rivulets of blood begin to flow like tears.
And we'll pause there for a moment. So in the past, yes, Jan and John, you guys shared a nice meal together in the moonlight. You remember this other time when he saved you from a snake? You guys have always known each other. That love was there. But as his blood seeps down John's face, those memories cease to exist in his head. He can no longer recall the first time you met. He can no longer recall your first date. They just cease. And we fast forward to the present.
What are you doing to him? Stop it!
Oh, I do nothing. You used magic. You pay cost. I simply give you extra power to be able to use very strong magic for very short time.
I don't want this.
But
She's got the dagger or the knife in hand, and she's watching her lover essentially bleed out before her, and she's now sobbing. She's very distraught and upset. She lots of regret, lots of wishing she'd never done any of the trial. Probably not even listening to her parents now, especially. So she takes the dagger, and there's a slight hesitation, knowing what she's about to do, and she plunges it into her own chest, right at the heart. And within a matter of seconds, her heart stops beating, and she falls to the floor.
As she falls,
John's bleeding stops, yeah? And he looks around and he sees the corpse and a lady who just stabbed himself, and he just can't put a name to your face. You can go on, just adding that there.
Drex, as you watch as the test subject Jan kills herself, you see then the magic, now a cost paid, quite dear, quite important. The magic in full acts as it pulls and continues to pull, as you can see the air itself almost tear, as now a small chunk of ground and a building, a small peasant house, are all there floating off of the cliff. And as you can feel the air itself shake, it begins to fall and collapse down the edge of the cliff.
Oh my god.
The hand, as the main body and everything of Arntholus watch it fall, and now her along with it, cascading down over the cliff. The hand reaches over towards him again, a smile on it. You see, great cost must be paid, whether it's yours or something else's. Perhaps not always what you wish. Perhaps it is something you do not expect. Magic can be formulaic, but it will always make things interesting.
Ah, yes. That we see. And he's just kind of staring in awe at the chunk. That is such
Go ahead.
a steep cost. That is such a steep cost.
Yes. Steep cost for steep magic, you see.
Well, let me ask you this. Does it have to be the personal cost, or does it just have to be fed?
Mm-hmm. The hand smiles again. Yes, yes, that is the curiosity you need. Well, you see, that is entirely up to whoever casts the spell. It is perhaps only necessary that something of great value is paid, although perhaps it will take a few tries for you, for the world, to understand what is worth such a cost, what has such value.
I see.
Do you wish great magic, Drex?
Oh, did I wish great magic? After seeing what I've seen, and from previous experiences, no, I do not wish the great magic. I merely seek to document it, so others may understand it.
Well, that is a shame. I do hope you investigate thoroughly, though. It is important for what will come.
Yes, well, that's what I plan to do a weekend, to have villages and houses falling off the face of the earth. Now can we?
Yes, I suppose. But if you ever have questions or wish to test new magics, I will be watching, waiting. Perhaps I can give you a hint in the future for something truly extravagant.
And I'm sure there'll be a time for that.
Indeed. You mortals have a beautiful sense of curiosity.
Yes, it seems to be what drives us. Always looking further ahead than we need to be sometimes, it seems, but nonetheless.
The arm that was talking to you kind of retracts back over his head, and then he bodily turns this time, actually, having still been watching with his, the main core of his body and everything. As he now turns to face you, you have learned some things, yes, but always more. Keep learning, keep trying, yes. As you see the form slowly clamber down the cliff, and then seemingly just reach into it and pull itself in.
Drex, after watching all that happen and seeing the guy climb down and pull itself in, he's going to return to his notes. And he's going to write down what he saw and heard and from his understanding about how it's always not a personal cost, but just sometimes maybe needed some other way of payment. And then he'll write down the stabbing and stuff about the blood and possibly blood sacrifice and everything, and do as good as he can because he knows this is going to eventually make its way to their glorious leader.
I guess we'll call it there.
I think that was the scene. Fuck.
Jeez.
I guess it might be a dark scene.
Yeah, I guess taste.
I like it. Oof. Let me pan the thing over to that. Oh my.
Sacrifices for nothing.
The gods aid magic. I mean, they did aid magic. They learned a lot from that. A whole lot. Oh man, poor Jan. But she did, in the end, get to go and see John again before, you know.
She killed herself, and he doesn't even know who she is anymore.
Yeah. Well,
If
he
only
also
we
fell
knew
off a
baby
cliff, so,
sacrifice.
yeah.
That brief moment's like, what?
It's like, what is going on? What is that thing? Who are you, lady? What the fuck? She just killed herself. Oh god, my house is falling off a cliff.
Right.
So much confusion before he was crushed underneath his own house. Along with his parents,
Well,
sadly. Yeah, it's Jan's fault. She specified his parents were there. Who knows, maybe otherwise they would have been in the market. Welp. Now it's back to Effie.
Yeah.
Have fun. You can do another whatever and nest a thing in it if you want. And...
Let's see. Alright. I'm still going with the focus, right? Yeah. So I'd say in the null, after the lizard god rises, there's going to be... Oh, Lord.
Let the degeneracy flow through you.
There's going to be an event where humanity kind of gets the hots for some lizards. And there's a portion of time where because they're now equals again, there's going to be some fanboys and girls who are like, oh, hell yeah, show us your lizard god, both metaphorically and in your pants. And and so there's going to be some promiscuity between the races. And it's going to result in a lot of social issues, and there's going to be a lot of like people trying to fight for the right of interracial relationships, and then it ends with the lizard god wanting all of their lizard folk to sacrifice their human lovers, and so they devour them.
Like mantises. I just want to raise the point. I wasn't the one that brought it there.
This event is going to be called Aki's Wet Dream.
Amazing. I didn't do this. Just saying. I did not do this.
Damn dirty lizard people.
Damn dirty lizard people. They just got it on with all the humans and then ate them. Well, continue to eat them, I guess? I mean, same difference. Oh my.
Well,
Yes. So you're typing that, and then I was gonna ask if you want to nest a scene into that, but
Oh, pass.
it's a bit of treacherous territory. Oh my. That fucking rabbit hole. Oh my. But yeah, that brings us back around. Now, I don't know if we want to go another full round. Or, Demi, what do you think? Should we do like a summary of everything, or?
why don't we just start from the beginning?
In the beginning.
Just read everything off.
In
Yeah.
the beginning, there were lizards. And about halfway through, they banged a bunch of humans. And then, by the end, they were just lizards again. I'll let you narrate, like, the timeline, I guess.
Well,
Whenever, once we get that.
I'm still typing.
Yeah,
Does that matter?
I was gonna say, let's see this, this fucking blasphemy. Oh my. Yeah, Karak was like, yeah, that's a bit far, guys. Let's just cool it and just eat them like normal people. Just want to say the queue now 3,280 in the queue, and it's still 52 minutes. Fucking what? Oh.
I mean, while she's typing that, I could probably read the beginning.
Yeah, you
shit,
might as well.
yeah.
And then when it's clear, we can get back around to it if we need to.
Here is a summary of our microscope game, Splinters of the Old God. Humanity is born. Religion is born. 7 deities were established with different traditions and rituals. Humanity starts to explore the world. What a vast, scary world it is. But they're not alone, for the lizards hunt the first humans. Primitive humans. You know, not worth the lizard folks' time or thought, really. I'm sure that won't come to bite them in the ass. The chaos brought on by the 2 moons. The world goes into disarray, chaotic, Pangea. Tides go, I don't know, frequently. Tsunamis more prevalent along the coast. Just not a good place to be, honestly. And humanity tries but fails to build great cities for some reason. All their attempts just destroyed before their eyes. The ruins of those great cities become pilgrimage spots as religion flourishes in the eyes of disaster. Why don't you read number 2, huh, Aki? I know you wanna.
Hey, I mean, it wasn't entirely my fault. I just made it an option, and then like I wasn't the only one who kept going with it. So I mean,
Hey, why don't you read it? Come on.
Knock yourself silly.
all right. So the Great Lizard War. Humanity fight off the great and powerful lizard folk. First encounter, humanity's desire to explore the new world hits a road bump as they encounter a race of aggressive lizard people. Humans then, of course, convene and have the great tribal meeting. After the events with the scouting party starts to spread, more humans are sent into the area, and a great meeting is set to decide on what to do next. Now, within that, and the other things, various things happen, but within that, the Dread Feast occurs. As the meeting comes to a close, something stirs, lizard folk ambush and ravage the nomad meeting. The humans do eventually, some of them get out, leaving on strong bloodlines in some cases, who become rulers and great powerful people, and something about balls. Yes. And then the humans attempt contact. After seeing the lizard people have intelligence, the humans decide to try to come to some terms. Following this, the death of Baal, father of Baal, as the second great battle roars, humans, fresh off of their first victory, get beaten back. Later on, lizard god conversion begins. Faiths clash as the lizard god claims the hearts of some of the humankind. Tensions rise as believers of the human faith try to assert their theological dominance. The Holy Aid of the Gods, a bright aid, finally. The high priest of the god of war speaks to him and offers his power to aid in the battle. This power blinds the enemy, but not a single human, despite the brilliance of this light, giving the humans the upper hand. It comes at the cost of the high priest's life, causing this to be a sacrifice. Later, the lizards eventually are forced to surrender, as their own high priest consumes another human high priest and is then killed by his own men, their leader then being beheaded by a very angry human leader. After this, the humans begin to assimilate lizard folk technology, finally beginning to understand how to potentially create buoyant materials and similar. And then it goes to humanity creates the first ships. Do you want me to read it, or do you want someone else to read it?
Take turns.
I'm sorry, what?
What? Sim.
I didn't hear Dimmy.
He said
Anyone
whatever,
want to read it?
basically.
I'll take it.
Cool.
Humanity creates the first ships. With peace, humans are first able to enter the sea. Humans are aided by the lizard folk. Lizard folk aids humans in the design and creation of the first ships, allowing for sea travel and exploration. The discovery of the star spire, a spire of light, reaches into the heavens of godly make. This light is elusive and mysterious to humanity upon discovery far into the reaches of the vast ocean. Those who attempt to get close to the star spire disappear and never return. Eventually, humanity forbids anyone to get close to the spire, though some still try to learn its meaning. Humans discover magic from the star spire. Those that disappeared into the star spire return a few years later, capable of wielding powerful and dangerous magic. And I guess since that was just only 3, what's the next one? I'll go into that. So then, soon after that, after magic is first discovered from the star spire, the gods present themselves. And Yeah, they aid in magic, which is what we just went through.
Mm-hmm.
The gods see humanity has discovered magic and decide to aid them in understanding what they now possess. The gods spread out across the land, uh, to teach and help them understand magic, only to find humanity has very little control of what they can do with it. While the gods split to teach, it does not mean that this is the god of a certain type of magic. So we had a scene with a god of curiosity, and this god, Arntholus. Wow, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Um,
I love it.
he essentially taught the first person how to wield magic
Properly.
and presented the great cause. And
Wield
what a
great.
tragedy. The love affair of a god and human. The god Isidore falls in love with a human named Neva. A lot of controversy arises from this union, both with the gods and with humanity. And now that I have gotten the description of the god of curiosity, I don't know why they fell in love. The gods pull Isidore from the world as they see humanity darken with envy. Why was Neva special? And so there came a dark use to the volatile magic, and a bounty was placed on Isidore's head. The god was pulled before the magic could kill him, and instead Neva became the victim. Her death reverberated throughout the tribes, splitting them and initially becoming the catalyst to the coming strife that would throw them into the Great War. And just before the Great War, a sage appears. Following the death of Neva, a wise old man appears from the woods, seemingly out of nowhere. He convinces the tribe of Neva to seek vengeance for those who he holds responsible for Neva's death. And that is actually... I totally forgot about that.
I mean, I think a lot of us did.
Yeah. Who wants to take the next
We did
one?
a lot of stuff, including many things with lizards and babies, sadly.
Sim?
Oh boy, let's see where that put me.
Yeah, you got a big one.
I do. This one has been looked at quite a bit. Alright, the Great War. The schools of magic emerge. Magic haven't been around long enough. Experts emerge and take on disciples of various schools of magic are created. The culture and location heavily influence what is taught. Confident in their deity, a cult following, Ysira, I say that right?
Yeah, probably.
People in the unique names. Looking at you, Effie.
Hey!
The flowers nearly wiped from existence, but a handful in the aftermath, the survivors denounced their god and relinquished the worship. Following that great massacre, the withering happened. During the war, various magics were tested and incident occurring during such. The withering, as it became known, arose during the studies of hostile magic to be used upon vast swaths of the enemies. Through scope, the scope was impossible to obtain, and error resulted in what was essentially a magical blood plague. The withering infected those with mana and desecrated their physical form. However, it marginally increased magical capability and mana. Those infected ended up used as suicide troops, taught volatile magic and thrown against their enemies. The withering spread to a degree and caused extensive damage. Somewhere along the line, following the withering, humans decided they'd go for more conventional fighting and entered the sea in ships. Together, the tribes, allied with their lizard allies, utilized new ships outfitted for warfare. Ships outfitted with heavy bows and devices that fire heavy spears, bringing new chaos to the world, as if what was going on was not enough. Following near the end of the war, with many people and lizard men having a thirst for blood, the tribes from the Great War started to do new alliances that form trade routes among the seas. With this comes piracy. Gerbeth, also known as Lizardfolk Pirate King, took to the seas with violence and plunder, and was so notorious he was deemed the highest threat and revered and feared by all other pirates. Already influences in trade, the Vintash clan. Vintashi.
I'm sorry. It's just,
utilized,
like, when I made it, I was like, oh, this one's going to be a bitch. Yeah. And now it is.
Wow.
utilized their funds to build a massive navy and settle countless islands along the coast. The powerful navy ensures the few can tamper with them, and they begin to construct small fortified barge docks in the ocean. With few to oppose them, they hire the Pirate King as a privateer to ensure they are able to live peacefully to their ocean strongholds. And when finally peace has been restored to the Great Blue, and trade flourishes without the risk of sudden death by pirate. With no explanation, it just was restored. History forgot the moment.
Scenes are formed, man.
Well, we got busy with a deity and some poor sacrifice and a house falling off a cliff, so...
Yeah, suddenly the null. Humanity loses their magic for 50 years. What? A fourth moon appears. The world is stunned as an orange-colored fourth moon rises. Some believe it's a bad omen. The seas become unwieldy. And almost as if the water is trying to leap towards the new moon. Descend in disarray as magic suddenly disappears. So too does the positions of power once held by those wielding said magic. Society fights to regain order, and rulers overthrown. The lizard god rises. To the surprise of the world, soon after the null begins, the lizard god Karak is witnessed for the first time in hundreds of years. In a fit of rage, the deity destroys much of the Vintasa clan and sunders all this stuff. The Scale Desert, the center of the continent. Oof, a bunch of stuff going on. Chaos ensues, and lizard folk rebel. Relationships between humans and the lizard folk. You know, why not? You know, lizards, humans, pretty much the same thing. Might as well get it on. However, there were some who fell in love with their power. These humans fell in love with the lizard folk and fought for interracial acceptance. How sweet.
And then the god told them, nah, eat them instead.
Then there's an age of enlightenment, you know, magic and cool stuff is happening. Gods start fighting alongside of humans, you know. And then they kill a god. That's cool. The first god has been slain by human hands. We never went into that.
We go.
We have a fucking
I feel like we had like tunnel vision, like whatever we did within that session, that's what we hyper focused on.
Yeah.
And then everything that we did sessions were like, oh, yeah.
It's just the fact that we have a scene, or not a scene, but an event dedicated to humans banging lizards, but we completely forgot to add anything about the fact of the first god dying.
I mean, that's a pretty major event.
I mean, it is true.
Not as major as sex.
It is true. It's pretty big. That's what they say.
Yeah. A bunch of other stuff happened. And then Splinter God speaks. The Splinter God that comprises humanity speaks to a select few. Why are you banging? Why are you killing? What are you doing?
Like, what's going on, guys? I'm hearing all this stuff about lizards. It's, like, concerning. Oop, I accidentally...
The chosen, the splintered god plague, the ethereal whispers come together to learn they are not alone. Once they find each other, they form to the newest religion, the praise their deity, Huramad, the splintered god. Cohabitation of cults. What's up? Huramad?
Oh, yeah, it's like the easiest one to say out of everything else in this game.
Yeah. They realized.
Except you're
Cult
welcome.
of Karak, yada yada. Humans suppress the cult. Learning of the new cult, people start raising the alarm about the harm, raising the alarm about the harm that can happen from the displeased gods. Suppression starts in earnest. Sick rhyme, Sim. Who's up? Someone take it.
Aki.
What? Alright, I guess
Get her done.
I'm technically...
It's for the babies.
Well, wait, fine. The big one, of course. The gods attack Following the events of the Age of Enlightenment, the gods revealed themselves once more and strike at the humans. Firstly, the gods advance on the humans. Seeing the power that humans may possess, the gods decide to act swiftly and attempt to wipe humans clean from the world, not realizing how resilient the humans actually are. Humanity then pleads for lizard folk aid. I'm sure they have plenty of reasons to do that now. Seeing as they are up against their powerful gods, humans turn to the lizard people to request their aid against the attacks. Attack of the lizard folk. Seeing the humans that were once a strong force now weakened, the lizard folk decide to seek revenge on the humans for their past deeds. They side with the gods and attack the humans. I forgot about that.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, they're fucked. They kind of screw the humans over constantly, don't they? And then a champion is born. A man believed to hail from divine lineage is recognized by the people, and now leads humanity in the charge against the gods. The man's name is Aval Krangaras. Following this, origin is revealed. In a daring attempt to take out a united clan force before it grows too strong, the god Defelsus charges into their encampment alone. In a shocking turn, the humans actually capture the god, and utilizing magic requiring a great number of sacrifices, torture information out of him. In this act, the truth of human origin is revealed. There's also a scene here, the revelation, where he actually does reveal the details of their creation in full. And the fact that Arval, or whatever the fuck his name was, is basically just, nothing special. And he has a weird birthmark and stuff. Yeah, it's like, makes fun of that. And then, after that, the obelisks. The splintered god, Hermod, reveals to his chosen few a means by which they can free him by merging the splinters. For a time, the chosen attempt to rally humanity behind this cause, for Hermod has promised power and protection in the fight against the old gods. Deep within the earth are the magical means by which the old gods created to keep Hermod splintered within every human born. Much like how the spire grants magic, this too is tied to such power, only keeps Hermod fractured. By destroying these obelisks, the magic within can be destroyed, but it comes at a great price. By destroying the obelisk, humanity would sacrifice themselves as their souls are tied to the splinters of Hermod. This creates tension and resistance. Within this also, there's a lovely scene in the Lost and Once Great City of Old. Where's the name of it? It's somewhere in here. But anyway, they find an old city. There's a bunch of goats. The baby gets sacrificed, and then they break an altar, and then basically it's like Dead Space and stuff. It's cool. And then the merging of man occurs. After the Akartha event, Akartha, that's what it was called, several years ago, cultists discovered from the ruins a method of merging mortal humans into coalesced forms. These became horrific monstrosities, bundles of bodies mashed into oversized lumps of limbs and madness. The threat they posed spread, as all they killed merged into them. Striking gold. A genius, it's a light age, a genius sorcerer, Eldritch, learns the key to turning living babies into bars of gold. However, it is learned that after a 9-month period, the gold turns back into decaying babies. Hobgoblins. Remorse set into a mother who lost too many of her children to the gold boom, turning her insane. Jocosa, dubbed the Goblin Queen, would steal children from their homes and transform them into hobgoblins in an attempt to protect the poor souls from being turned into gold. And then, of course, the response to the new monster threat. While fighting the gods, the great leaders learned of humans using magic that transformed them into fleshy monsters. Eager to not have this problem spread, the leaders decide to spend a part of their army and some of their mages to head off the threat. Yay.
And finally...
And then the gods are lost. Do you want to read this one?
Fuck it. The gods are lost. Humanity no longer coexists with the gods. Old god resonance theory does emerge, however, as humans, after eons of research, discover the true purpose behind their nomadic lifestyles. As Lord Sophie...
My fucking, 5-paragraph long things.
This large substance from the power that splits the old gods grows weak. The presence of so many fragments acting akin to magnetism. What? As this occurs, a buildup of magical power seeps into the area. The influence of the old god battling the magics that keep it splintered. Inevitably, this results in great catastrophe and destruction. It becomes clear that even with the death of disappearance of the gods, humanity can never truly become comfortable in large, settled cities in the right order. In addition, this brings a revelation that if humans ever reach too significant a population, scrolling, a cataclysmic event may occur. Humans on the move again. After years of fighting the gods, the humans can claim victory. But at a cost. The forts they have made house cities. What? Does this match up with our timeline? After years of fighting the gods, humans after eons of research score the troopers behind them. Anyways. The place has spurred victory, holding back the humans, so after great thought they decide to gather and move on. The golden age of singularism. As the world continues on without the gods, old magics resurface and a number of cults pop up around the world, espousing the greatness if united forms. People make great strides in these types of magic, and it becomes common for more intricate forms to appear. These singulars, as we like to call them, spread the idea that to physically and mentally join with others is the greatest form of ecstasy mortals can attain. As the practice becomes commonplace, the only thing stopping it from spreading further being the gold god resonance theory. And finally, to be continued, long after the rise and fall of humanity and the civilizations that have come after them, a god is born. Dun, dun, dun.
I forgot.
Wow.
I forgot that I made horrible conjoined human things.
Yeah, we all wanted to forget.
So that's the end of a great experiment they call micropose.
Micropose?
Yeah. Of
Just
course.
cut this.
Alright.
Sid Meier's game company.
Oh boy.
Let me end it there.
Microscope.
Microscope, everybody. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. Check out B&B stuff. You get the